So today we're going to learn how to carve a side of smoked salmon. You'll need 4 things. Very sharp smoked salmon carving knife, a pair of tweezers for plucking out the little pin bones. You'll need a board to put the side of smoked salmon on. And of course you'll need a wonderful side of Forman smoked salmon, which you're going to be carving. So before we're ready to slice the side, we have to trim it. So we take the side of smoked salmon, move it just over the edge of the board, and then we take the knife and trim off the 2 sides, literally just going quite close to the edge, cutting through the bones here, all the way down, and that is one of the wings there. And then we turn it round and repeat exactly the same, just trimming off the edge, through the bones, round this little notch here, all the way down. And that's the fin. The next stage is to remove the bones from the surface of the salmon. You have these bones here, the rib cage, and some bones on the other side too. So I'm turning this round. We take the knife and we literally lay the knife just very gently under these bones and push with a sort of sawing action backwards and forwards. We just slide the knife under the bones and they're quite easy to remove, and the bones almost form a guide for the knife. On the other side we have some bones too, so I'm moving the salmon to the edge and then again a sawing action backwards and forwards, running the knife underneath, and that's all the bones removed. So now we have to remove this crusty surface that forms across the top of the side of smoked salmon. It's called the pellicle. A lot of producers actually have the pellicle forming across the whole fillet because they remove the bones before it's smoked, and then they feed it through a slicing machine. And when you see cheap smoked salmon, you see that little crusty edge on every slice, and it shouldn't be there. They're effectively selling you the trimmings with the smoked salmon. We remove the trimmings, and this is how it's done. We take the knife, once again that sawing action, and we just run it gently under the pellicle, and we trim this off just with a sawing action all the way through the fish. You're hearing me go through some of the little pin bones in the fish here. There we go. So that is the pellicle. It is edible, so this doesn't need to be thrown away, and actually you can blitz it up in a food processor and make a really nice smoked salmon pate with that. The final stage of trimming the side of smoked salmon is to remove the little pin bones, and you can literally feel these here with your finger, and if you do flick them up against the direction they're pointing, it makes them easier to remove. We then grab the tweezers and pluck, and best to pluck in the direction that the bones are facing, that way it saves the salmon fillet being torn. So they're relatively easy to pull out, one by one. There should be around 30 to 32 of these little bones. So now we're ready to slice the side of smoked salmon. Some people slice it with a backhand action and others with a forehand action. I think you have more control doing it forehand, almost like a sort of, tennis forehand going this way. So I'm right-handed, so I start with the salmon on the head on my right-hand side. And again, you take the knife, just run it very gently under the surface, and a sawing action backwards and forward. The absolute critical importance here is just to have this really sharp knife, then it just slides through the salmon. So there we go with the first slice. And the best thing of all is that you can have a sneaky slice for yourself while nobody's watching. So here we go. Oh, that is how smoked salmon should be. It just tastes of salmon, tiny bit of salt to preserve it, just a hint of smoke, but you're getting that freshness of the salmon. It's amazing.